migration. Yes, it is. Yeah, I still remember whose this is. Alright. So, hello guys, and welcome back to the Grandmasters League. It's been a few days since the last game, and that is because Doubt and Chris have had busy schedules, and they've only just managed to play their games, but they've finally played them, and these are the last two games of the GML at this stage. There will be some more, but I'll tell you about that in a moment. But yeah, so these guys are finally playing, and this is like one of the matches that, or one of the sets even, that people have been waiting for so long. Doubt versus Chris, of course, a lot of history between these two players, arguably the two best players of all time, although it's obviously clear now that the Viper is going to get himself into that list as well very soon. But Doubt and Chris, two absolute legends, battling it out in the GML, and yeah, I've been excited for this all tournament. It's finally here, it's finally happening, and yeah. So who have we actually got? Well, in red we have got Doubt playing as Vikings over to the left of the map, and invisibly on the map right here is I am Chris. Over on the right hand side, let me just adjust my screen so I can see the colours a bit better, playing as Vikings as well. The map, of course, being Migration, which most of the Migration games were played at the start of this tournament, and they're finally playing a final Migration game between the two of them, and Chris chose Migration against Doubt here. He's chosen to play him on a water map. I don't know whether that was just because he's feeling confident on water maps or what, but Chris has chosen this as his home map. We'll get to see how well he performs on his home map choice, of course, a bit later on, and yeah, I just can't wait. As you can see, Chris has 4 sheep right here that he's not found yet. Looks like Doubt has found all of his sheep, so he's off to a reasonably good start actually. We'll see if he lures his deer in with his scout cavalry. I'm sure his hand is better now, so he should be able to do just that, no problem whatsoever. And excuse me if I sound like I'm shivering a bit, that's because I'm absolutely freezing right now, and I'm genuinely shivering as I'm like commentating this game. Hopefully I'll warm up a little bit as things get underway. Let's have a look at their fishing possibilities. Of course, migration does mean that the players are very far apart, and we'll see quite a lot of fishing ships out before they advance up to the feudal age. It would be handy if Chris was to dock on this north side, as he will have more fish up here, but it's likely that he will dock down here, as he does have his TC closer to this side. As you can see, luring his deer in already with his scout cavalry. Still not finding these sheep yet, and if we have a look at his exploration, he's not actually explored his island to the full as well, so he'll find those sheep very shortly if he heads over in this direction. But it's likely that he'll dock down on this side, which isn't going to be so great for him. He's got less fish here, and it's probably going to pay off a lot more to dock on this side. For Doubt, it doesn't really matter too much where he docks. If he docks at the back, he's going to have a load of fish anyway. If he docks on this side, he's going to have a load of fish. If he docks on the front, which is kind of unlikely, if he does dock here though, he still will have a lot of fish. So Doubt has a lot of fish available to him. Chris now just bringing his sheep back, and good timing as well for finding those, as these deer are being taken up right now, and they are going to run out very shortly. House for Chris, and it does look like he will dock down on this side, which is kind of a little bit unfortunate perhaps, because this really isn't the best place to dock. There are a few big fish here, but they really are quite sparse in comparison to the north of his island. If we go have a look at Doubt's side of the map, he too, you're starting to lure some deer in with his scout cavalry. A little bit of a misclick there though, I think, or not a misclick, but a little bit of a I don't know, miss micro perhaps. He forgot about his scout, and the deer started to run back, so this is not so good for Doubt here. This is going to slow him down a little bit, not too much, but obviously villagers having to walk all the way back to his TC is going to slow things down quite a lot. And if we take into consideration, this is where Chris managed to lure his deer. Chris has already got plenty more food. He should have 2 villagers queued up, Doubt with just the 1 and running out of food. So Chris so far managing to queue up extra food, and now we see Doubt doing a loom. Chris, of course, has not done loom yet. He's not stopped villager production all the way through, so he's having a pretty good dark age so far, getting those deers lured in nice and early. And as long as he doesn't let his TC get idle, he should be able to keep himself in the score lead, which he has just taken now that Doubt is doing loom and he's slowed down his villager production. It should be something like 16 to 17 population. Yes, it is. And Chris is going to be getting out his first boats right now. First dock already up for Doubt. He's been in a reasonably good spot. He's got quite a lot of big fish back here, more in the corners of the map as well, and he should be absolutely fine for fish for quite some time. It's obviously likely that these guys are going to go for a very large dark age, lots and lots of fishing ships coming in. There's a couple of reasons for that, as I've said before. Firstly, players are very far apart from each other. It takes a long while for galleys to get from one side of the map to the other. Sometimes they could be so far apart because of this middle land that by the time you've done a grush, if someone else did a fast castle, they'd already be up to the castle age and getting war galleys out by the time your galleys reach them. Another reason is, of course, no boar and only three deer. Usually on most standard resource maps you have 2 boar and 4 deer. Here you don't have the 2 boar and you have 3 deer, so of course that is a lot of food that you don't initially have, and of course that means you're going to have to get a few more fishing ships, and it takes a while for the wood that you've invested in the fishing ships to come back as food effectively. Same as like a farm, it takes a while to get the investment back, but inevitably it will come back eventually. So it's usual to see players go for a later feudal age, and again Doubt a little bit messy here, not luring his deer in with his scout cavalry. And I know it's not the most easy lure of all. I mean, he can do it, it's just a little bit awkward being on a hill, I guess, but he really should have tried to lure his deer back to his TC, and this is obviously slowing his economy down quite a lot, having to have these villagers walk so far, and it's not making the best use of villager time. He's not population clocked again, he's idle TC again for a very short period of time, but all of that has added up to Chris taking the score lead already, and Chris is looking like he's having a very nice start here indeed. One ship gathering the shore fish here, perhaps that should be on to the big fish instead, as it's a lot slower to gather from these little tiddlers, but other than that, Chris off to a pretty damn good start, and starting to split his lumber camps here as well, and he should be going up in about 12 minutes. We'll probably see these players going up. So I'm going to speed things up until then. Of course we won't see them taking berries for quite some time, but Doubt having to take some berries already just to get that extra food in. Of course this deer here does not want to be lured back, and Doubt is kind of giving up on that, and this is the form that we weren't really expecting Doubt to have. We were expecting Doubt to have a much better form than this, and obviously now having to build this mill, that is bad. That is really bad. That's 100 wood he's just put into this mill right here, and he's having villagers gathering berries, and obviously that is really not so good, because A, the villagers don't gather from berries very fast at all. B, he spent 100 wood on a mill, which could be spent on a fishing ship, which will help him out much more in the long run. And C, that's 100 wood that could also be spent on a galley. So we won't see berries for some time from Chris, and the fact that Doubt has actually moved on to berries here is certainly not good at all. I've got a feeling that Chris might be up to the feudal age slightly slower than Doubt, though. This kind of indicates that Doubt might do a faster feudal age time. With all these villagers on berries here, he could get up to the feudal age slightly faster, as he is going to have more initial food income. There's the mill from Chris quite a lot later, so he will probably have a lot more fishing ships out on the water. As you can see, the difference in population, 41 for Chris and 36 for Doubt, and Chris definitely has a fair amount of fishing ships right here. He's split his docks up, he's got one at the front and 2 at the back. And in comparison to Doubt, he certainly has more fishing ships right now, and he also has a couple more villagers, as he hasn't had an idle TC this entire time. So Chris doing a very nice build here, off to a good start indeed, and he will be slightly slower up to the feudal age, but he should, if Doubt clicks up before him, be able to get up to the castle age a lot sooner. Let's see if Doubt actually just clicks up here. Yep, he's going to click up on 11 minutes 30, 40 population spot on. Chris is on 47, he's still not clicked up just yet. We'll see him do that very shortly. As soon as these fishing ships return with all of their food, he should be able to go up fairly quickly. Plenty of villagers on berries right now to just get up to that 500 food mark, and Chris will go up as well. The only problem with going up considerably later, because obviously he's going to be clicking up when Doubt is about halfway to feudal. The only problem with that is that he won't have any galleys out for quite some time. Doubt could send some galleys over and kill some fishing ships if he's very quick, if he goes the right way, of course. He could go up to this side of the map, where my cursor is going now. That would be a very long way around, but if he did go towards the bottom, they would certainly be a lot closer. In which case, then he might be able to get a couple of fishing ships. Of course, Chris would run and then make some galleys of his own. There we go, up to feudal age right now. More villagers over to lumber. Lots of villagers over to, well, a few villagers over to gold. He will want a lot of gold because he's going to want to go up to the castle age pretty quickly. He's also going to want to get out plenty of galleys once he does reach the feudal age. But of course, the advantage of all these fishing ships now is that you don't need any villagers gathering food whatsoever. All you need is the fishing ships to bring you enough food. He'll probably have around 800 food once he reaches the feudal age, and he can go pretty much straight up to castle. Doubt going to hit feudal fairly soon. As you can see the difference there at the top between the advancing times. Doubt definitely going to get up to feudal first, but at what cost? We'll soon find out. He will be making some galleys as soon as he goes up, and he's certainly not going to have 800 food straight away. He probably has, however, been creating some more fishing ships whilst he's been going up to the feudal age. And there we go, up to feudal right now, and he's still got the least amount of score. Galleys are going to start coming out, as you can see, and we'll probably see as well from him a blacksmith and a market, but he's not got enough wood for the market just yet, and he will need a bit more food as well. Chris is going to be up to feudal in just a moment, and by the time he gets up to feudal, I imagine the first boats from Doubt will be on the way over, but I doubt they will have reached Chris's fishing ships at all by the time they actually reach feudal. And Chris even adding on more fishing ships as well. He is making so many fishes right now. He is going to go up to castle straight away. He has got 800 food already, pretty much. He's got his 200 gold already. He can afford the castle age research really quickly, which is great for him. He's also got plenty of wood, so he can start to get out the first round of galleys as well. And Chris even sending out a fishing ship here to scout exactly where Chris is. Now that is great because he knows, Doubt is. He's going to know exactly where Doubt is going to come from. So Chris here is going to be able to go straight up to the castle age. He's building his blacksmith straight away. He'll probably be building his market straight after. He just needs a little bit more wood. He's got it now. He can afford it. Where is the market? Is this villager going to build it? It's slowing his castle time down. Doubt is likely to be clicking up to castle any second now, actually. And well, as soon as that market goes up, he should be able to click up. Chris, though, just needs to get his market. There it is. The market is going up. He's got the resources he needs. He's got galleys coming out, and obviously Doubt now is on his way over to Chris, but Chris, he knows exactly where Doubt's coming from. He's moving his ships out of the way in time, and he should have enough galleys out on the field in order to defend himself quite well indeed. Fletching coming up straight away as well. He's already got bit axe, and the market is about to complete, so that means castle age for Chris. Ooh, and Doubt going up just a bit earlier as well. Of course, he did get up to the feudal age first, so he carried that momentum into the castle age, but just look at the difference in population. It's 54 pop to Doubt right now, and Chris is up there on 66, so he is going to find himself with a very nice economy by the time he actually reaches the castle age. He's already got a lot of all the researches he needs. He's got bit axe, he's got mining upgrades, I'm pretty sure of that. I would check, but it takes time to do that, and I'm lazy. But yeah, he's starting to make galleys as well, and adding on extra docks all around his island to get ready to get really aggressive. If you just have a look at the difference in score, Doubt is actually just overtaking him, as he is actually creating a lot more galleys right now. I believe Doubt probably has more galleys. He's got 9 out on the water. Chris has 8, so it is fairly close, and their scores are very neck and neck. So after a bit of a rough dark age, Doubt has managed to sort of get himself back into the game a little bit. Chris now going to have to respond over here, otherwise he will start to lose fishing ships, and one galley might not seem a lot, but if it's left to its own devices for long enough, fishing ships will be lost, and that is a bit chaotic over there. Chris going to chase that down and sort him out, and also have a little bit of an engagement down this side, forcing Doubt away. I've got a feeling though that Chris right now does have the most economy upgrades, or well, he probably does have all of them. I do have a feeling that Doubt would have been a little slower with that because he was struggling for resources on the way up to the castle age. But let's see what their economies are actually looking like. If we have a look at Chris's resources right now, he's certainly got quite a lot in the bank already. If we have a look at Doubt, he's got pretty much the same actually, a little more gold, a little less wood, but certainly a lot less food, and that food is going to be really important because the upgrades, the economy upgrades, all cost food. We're talking handcart, we're talking gold shaft mining, we're talking bow saw upgrade, even just most of the upgrades will require food. Bodkin arrow, for instance, things like that. They cost a lot of food, and you'll see his food production go, his food drop quite considerably once he reaches castle. As you can see for Doubt there, his food dropping straight away as he is getting in those all-important researches. Bow saw, as I said, gold shaft mining might be on the way eventually. War galley is being completed, and of course there we go, Bodkin arrow just completed as well. He is of course going to want to keep up that villager production, and maybe even add a second TC on his home island, or a lot of players like to do this. They like to get villagers over onto the center island very quickly and take the center island as fast as they can. There we go for Chris. War galley being researched straight away, bow saw being researched of course. No gold shaft mining just yet, waiting for that one, and of course Bodkin arrow as well. University coming up for Chris straight away. Surprised that Doubt hasn't got the university coming up already, but we will see ballistics from both of them. That of course costing wood and gold, so it's important to keep your wood count very high as well, and Chris has done just that. He's got plenty of wood already saved up, so he can continue his galley and war galley production at quite a nice rate, I should think. I just need to turn my game sound down just a touch because I turned it up for that scenario, and it's very loud indeed. But yeah, there's the university from Chris. He should be able to afford ballistics straight away, or if not, very, very soon. There we go, ballistics being researched already, and he's spending his resources very well indeed. Having a look at their populations, Chris on 82, Doubt on 76, and I'm wondering how he's got such a score lead, because as far as I can tell, he's not really killed off many units from Chris at all, so it's kind of confusing to me how he has got the score lead here. Neck and neck upgrades for the time being on the war galleys, of course, and Doubt, interestingly enough, with a higher score. Maybe he's explored more. Yeah, he's explored a lot more than Chris has. I think a lot of his score is mainly due to his scouting information. Having a look at their military, 27 ships for Doubt, Chris on 24. So Chris is slightly behind in military, but his economy is certainly looking very good. He's got war galleys queued up from pretty much every dock, and he's certainly in a nice position right here as they are nearing the sort of middle stages of this game. Really no major action just yet, but we will see some big water fights fairly soon. Careening coming up for Chris as well, and that is something that Doubt doesn't have. That's something that I don't think Doubt will be getting for a while until he decides to move on to the mainland. Careening can indicate two things. It can indicate that A, Chris is looking to go onto the mainland pretty quickly, send some villagers over, or B, that he's just looking to engage and he wants that extra ship armor for his engagements, give him the better advantage when he can. I just heard the university going up for Doubt. There it is, right there, and no ballistics coming up just yet, so Chris has a big advantage in this battle. He's got careening, he's got ballistics, and I think he's in a position where he could quite easily defeat Doubt's army here. Of course, Doubt doesn't actually have that much more galleys than him, especially as half of them are back here, so Chris would be in a good situation to attack here. Of course, you've got to bear in mind that he only sees this This is his line of sight, that's all he can see, so he has to be careful. He can't just judge exactly how big Doubt's navy is without seeing it all first, and he's going to want to play it safe, I think, rather than throwing his navy away. I'm interested to see if he's going to go, nope, not onto the mainland just yet. Waiting to see a transport ship from one of these guys, careening, and ballistics coming up for Doubt. And I think Doubt doing these researches quite a bit later, but it has meant that he has been able to afford more war galleys, and he should, I think, have more still. 42 out for him, Chris on 36, and Doubt is about to be fairly even in upgrades as well, or almost exactly even in upgrades. So it's looking pretty good for Doubt, actually. I've got to say, he is looking pretty strong right here. After a little bit of a rocky start in the feudal age, he is doing, in the dark age, he's doing a very good job. Once he's got up to castle now, his navy is really strong, and he should be able to engage Chris once he's got these ballistic upgrades and the careening. Let's see. He's going to move out right now. He's sending his ships over, and it's interesting. He might be going for a really fast game here. He might be trying to finish Chris before they even make it onto the mainland. But I imagine if this battle ends up as a bit of a stalemate, the players are really going to have to focus on taking the middle fairly soon, as they will need to get that extra resources off of the centre area once their starting islands start to run out of wood and gold. Doubt now coming in right here with a lot of ships. I've got a feeling that he is going to be in a very nice position. His score is starting to gain massively, and it's so hard to say, but I would actually say that Doubt here may even be pushed back because reinforcements are coming in from Chris, and it looks like Doubt might not be able to hold on. It's kind of hard to say right now. 38 ships on the water for Doubt. It looks like Chris actually 38 as well, so Chris has definitely come out fairly good in this situation. I'd go as far as to say that Doubt is going to have to retreat here. Who is going to have the nerve to stay in the battle? That is the question. It's Doubt's bringing in reinforcements, but he is being pushed back. Chris now is going to take this little fight, I think, and that is huge for Chris. He is going to be in a nice advantageous position as long as he can reinforce quickly enough. It looks like he's starting to take the centre island as well. Doubt actually being pushed back right now, and of course Chris has got ballistics, so the longer that someone is retreating, the more of an advantage you're going to gain. And look at the tables turn. 28 ships for Doubt all of a sudden. Chris on 29, 33 even. He's just taken a slight lead there, and that is really good for him. Although saying that, he might not hang on to that lead for too long if he engages Doubt right here, because Doubt with the advantage on the water in this location, it's looking a little bit close for Chris. Let's check back there in just a moment. Doubt, of course, at the top of the map, chasing Chris down again, but Chris has started to take the centre island. He's sending villagers over to there now, and he's even chasing Doubt away over here. Store's pretty close actually. Chris just 100 points in the lead, and considering he had a much better start, that's not really surprising. But let's have a look at this. He's up to the Imperial Age right now. Where is Doubt? He's still castle. He's not going to be able to afford the Imperial Age for a few moments, and Chris is going to be up to the Imperial Age. He's got such a good economy right now, and he can upgrade very easily once he gets to the Imperial Age. Galleon and Bracer, and he should have little or no trouble out whatsoever getting the upper hand once he reaches the Imperial Age with those extra upgrades. Doubt just clicking up right now. Chris, of course, going to be in a big advantage, considering that that Doubt managed to go up faster in both times. Chris has kind of pulled it back a little bit, and he's actually going up first in this time, in this instance. So let's see what he manages to do once he gets to Imperial. He is starting to settle on the mainland. Town centre going up right there for him. Doesn't look like Doubt has sent any villagers over whatsoever, and that's kind of a little bit worrying, because there we go, there's the transport ship being queued right now. He's going to start sending villagers over soon. You don't want to leave it too late to get onto the centre island. You don't want your opponent to start getting castles up in the middle, start getting extra TCs up, and getting that area claimed as their own, because that can give you a lot of trouble in the late stages of the game when you're trying to take the middle and you just can't because someone's already got too much dominance over that area of land. So the TC going up for Chris right there. He's going to be continuing to make villages, of course, and Imperial Age research is completed. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. He's going to be going straight away for Galleon. He's going to be going straight away for Bracer and Chemistry as well. It's all there. And Chris is going to be sending out his units straight away for a nice timing push. He should get most of these researches done as he's engaging Doubt now. He's outnumbered, but he is going to have a big tech advantage in just a moment. Maybe he should have delayed his attack for just a few more seconds because he doesn't have Bracer. He's fighting on even turf here, and he's outnumbered, so he probably should have waited just a little longer before sending those units out. But he is going to get the +3 right now. That's going to help him out. Galleon is just about to complete. Well, not just about to complete. It's a little bit slow, and Chris should have probably held on a little bit there before pushing out. He's got a slight advantage with the upgrades, but he's outnumbered heavily, and he is going to lose a lot of ships here, and that is quite risky. However, he is also countering on the top, sending a split, so he will be able to push this back once Galleon gets researched, which it is just now. But it does look like Chris is going to lose this battle on the south, though he is going to push Doubt back on the north, so that is looking pretty good for him. I'm starting to wonder where his ships are though. He's only got 28 out on the water right now, and Doubt is on 36. He's continuing to make warships non-stop, and he's about to hit Imperial Age himself, and he is going to have a galley lead once he reaches Imperial, so that is really, really good for Doubt. He's in a nice position. Once he reaches Imperial, he will be able to upgrade his ships, and he should, if he's still got more ships, be able to push Chris right back. Chris bringing in reinforcements, as is Doubt, and Doubt now going to be getting Bracer himself. He's going to be getting Galleon as well, but he's a little bit slow to get his upgrades here. Galleon being researched, Bracer just after. He's going to have to be very careful, otherwise Chris is going to start to push him back here. And Doubt probably should have retreated a little bit sooner, because he did lose a lot more ships than he needed to there. 24 left for Doubt, Chris on 27, and that's going to be going up at quite a nice rate because his economy looking pretty strong. Lots of galleons being queued up, and if he keeps the pressure on from both sides, Doubt could start to lose quite a lot of ground, and that is going to be slightly worrying. Of course, Chris building these forward docks here as well to give him a bit of an advantage with reinforcements, and if he keeps building docks around here, he should be in a nice position indeed. The transport ship from Doubt, it's around somewhere. He's not using it just yet. There it is. He's got the villages inside of there, but he's not sent them over just yet, and that's costly. So it's a waste of time if he's not using them. There we go, now he's sending it over, and he will build a TC in the middle area at some point. Chris with his second TC already going up, and he is fairly far ahead in this situation. With the centre island. Of course, once Doubt starts to run out of wood on his home island, the same for Chris as well, once they start running out of wood, the centre island is going to be so important to them. It's going to be really important. But of course, Chris now with 2 TCs on here already, plenty of villagers gathering wood as well. He should be able to start taking control of this if he finds Chris, sorry, Doubt even. He's got his scout on there already. He might find him actually. He's sending his scout over right now. He may. No, he wouldn't have done. He wouldn't have spotted the transport ship, but he is going to scout this area because this is the only area he's not scouted yet. And there it is. He sees the town centre right there, and he might start to take action with his villagers. We might see him build a barracks pretty shortly, and we could even see him, or he might not even build a barracks. He could just go straight for a siege workshop. He'll probably make archers, so we'll see probably like arbalest. Pardon me. Arbalest and rams. Doubt gonna lose his scout cavalry there. That was not good, because now Doubt is not going to be able to explore the island properly. He's not going to see this, that Chris, there's the barracks from him, and he'll probably make an archery range straight after and start making some arbalests, preventing Doubt from taking this land. That is the important part of this. Chris is sending a lot of his navy up to the north of the map, a large amount of it actually, and he's still got quite a lot down here as well. So look what numbers are looking like. 44 for Doubt. Chris right now on 55. He's starting to take the lead quite massively, 1,000 score difference, and there are the archery ranges from him. We might even see a siege workshop coming up straight away as well. But if he prevents this town centre from doing anything, then Chris is going to gain a huge advantage. It's going to be ridiculous how big his advantage of that from that is going to be. Chris now starting to push out, both of them neck and neck for upgrades. Apart from Doubt, actually, he's not got chemistry. I don't think he mustn't have chemistry. He might not have been able to afford it. Of course, it does cost quite a bit. There we go. he's getting it 75%, but of course he's at a disadvantage when Chris does have it, so that is not good for him. There's the archery ranges from Chris as well. Of course he's already got the upgrades, he's just researching crossbowman now. He will need a bit more gold so he can afford arbalest, but he will really want to take control of this island. Gold is down here, and Doubt is gathering the gold from down here. I don't know if Chris has seen that. He knows the gold is there. He might see it if his ships go by. And if he manages to take water control, then he will see Doubt gathering gold from here. He can deal with that pretty quickly. There's a watchtower from Chris as well. Lots of villagers going over to build that and start to pressure this town centre. Crossbows coming out as well. We might see arbalest. He can't afford the upgrade just yet, but he will be making some crossbows, and he will start to pressure this TC. He's winning the water up in the north, but he's starting to lose it on the back, at the bottom, having to retreat a little bit there and bring his galleons together to deal with Doubt's push. This is kind of nice though. He's got a very nice little advantage here. I think he's got a lot of ships there. He should maybe just about defeat Doubt's army here, and if he can defeat the transport ship as well, if he can harass from the shorelines, which he is doing, he'll find himself in a pretty nice position. We might see Doubt though dropping a castle on his shoreline somewhere to keep it nice and safe, and there's the siege workshop from Chris as well. Ram perhaps coming out there straight away as soon as he can afford it, and waiting to see where this castle is going to be. Doubt of course going to have to make a castle somewhere to secure his villagers or keep them safe from the ships from Chris. Chris with a very large navy on this side, starting to head take Doubt head on, getting in there very nicely. Indeed, they're going to completely merge, and then they are going to attack, and Chris should take that battle no problem whatsoever. He's got a lot of more galleons in there, and he should be able to take that very easily. We see the another watchtower here. Interesting position. Not sure why, but Chris is gonna find the gold collectors right here, and that is gonna be big for him because Doubt is gonna find himself out of gold very shortly. If Chris sees this, why has he not seen it? It was so close, but over this side, as I said before, Chris obviously going to win that battle. He had a lot more galleons there. His score is looking very strong right now, and he's seen him over this side as well. Chris is starting to find and suss him out. There's the battering ram. The town centre will be taken out pretty quickly, and Doubt resigns. He knows he's not in a good position right now. Of course, Chris has a large navy. He just lost a lot of his ships right there. He's got very few ships left, and of course with Chris starting to pressure his land, he obviously just didn't think he could bring it back from that position. So Chris takes the first game between himself and Doubt. I'm pretty sure he'll be happy about that. The last time we saw these two guys meet in a big fight, it was the best of 21, and Doubt ended up winning that one. So Chris getting himself a victory there with what seemed like relative ease, and Chris is likely to be happy with that. Of course, that was his home map. The next game between these two is going to be Doubt's choice. We'll see how that one goes. Stay tuned, guys, because that'll be coming up right now.